Today, I'm interviewing accountability coach Marlia as she gives us some tips on how to handle the stress of being at home 24/7 with our kids and helping with schoolwork.
Hi guys, my name is Marlia Breon Hall. I am an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I am a speaker as well as an accountability coach. And simply through all of those different things, I just help women to become everything they were created to be. I hold them accountable to the things that they say they want to do with their life and their time and their mind and their body and in their relationships. I just help people to make things happen. And I do that through books, online teaching, as well as coaching.
Wonderful. Okay. So as you know, we're all dealing with the coronavirus. A lot of people have been stuck at home. Many of us have been used to maybe sending the kids off to daycare during the day while you go off to work, and just the everyday hustle and bustle. And now we're forced to almost deal with a couple realities that maybe we didn't have to deal with in the past. So one of the things that I want to kind of start off with is just that individual that is just now has to get used to working from home, period.
Right.
Is there any strategies that you can maybe possibly provide to folks working at home of how to kind of stay on task, to still stay focused with everything that's going on around us?
I got you. All right. So the biggest thing that I could say when it comes to staying on task is having a schedule. Before you were at home, depending on what work field you were in, most likely you had a schedule. You had a time that you were supposed to clock in. You had a time that you were allowed a 15-minute break, a lunch, another 15-minute break, team meetings. All those things were scheduled. I believe that at home, you should also have a schedule. And if you do not have children, of course, just try to stick to the exact same schedule that you had at your job. What time did you go on lunch? What time did you go on your breaks? Just keep that same habit so that you can just do everything that you were doing at work, at home. Another thing that I would suggest to you while being at home, just because you're at home does not mean that you can spend all day on your phone, or you can, be talking to people or Googling things on the internet. Like, try your best to be the same person that you were as if your boss or your manager was to walk in at any time. A schedule is everything. I believe that when you have a time that you're supposed to check emails, a time that you're supposed to make phone calls, a time that you're supposed to take breaks and lunches and whatever else you have to do, sticking to that will help you not to lose your mind, because it's already organized, it's already categorized, and I simply just need to do it. So get your imagination on and act like you're literally at your job, even though you're in the comfort of your home where there's your refrigerator and your television and all the things that you love. But just do your best to stick to a schedule, I would say, would be the best tip.
Yeah, see, I find that even my sleeping patterns are off. I'm typically have been a very early morning person. Like, I really would wake up anywhere between 4 and 4:30 every day. So, but now what I'm finding is I'm staying up later at night doing work, or just house chore, whatever it is. I'm finding that I'm staying up later, whereas before I was like, I would get to bed because I know how to get up early, and now it's just totally shifting. So that is something that I've had to kind of adjust to, or trying to work out. And I'm trying to figure out when it's time to get back to my regular schedule, how this is all going to work out in the end in terms of that. But so being focused and organized, is there a way? Because like when this hit, as far as they're saying, okay, this quarantine, even though I do see there's a period, a week, 2 weeks, and then we get a new news release or update of some changes going to happen. So it's like, kind of know these changes are going to happen down the line. But when this first hit, it was kind of like, okay, tomorrow's the day you gotta
do everything.
and so some people may have not been able to get totally organized in the sense of maybe I'm sitting in my daughter's old bedroom that I'm converting into my closet right now.
Oh, nice.
Just because I have an office space, but it doesn't have a door on there.
Gotcha.
So, but I've seen people in closets, just from videos I've seen in basements, outdoors, which not too bad. But for people that maybe didn't have the space kind of set up, is there anything that they can do? Because they may even just feel a little lost because of.
To be honest, I feel like you can literally set up any place. Before we bought this house, we were in a lot smaller house. You know, it was a 2-bedroom house, super tiny. And I actually had established an office because at that time I said, you know, I wanted to be productive. I did not want to lose sight of my dreams and my different goals. So I needed a space. I turned a corner in my bedroom into an office. I had a little fold-up table, a real small little table from like Amazon that we ordered.
Okay.
I put that thing up on the wall and had a little light that I had for years, you know, put that on there. I was like, this is my office. Yes, my bed is right there if I turn around, but this is my office. So for the people who are adjusting and they're like, I don't really have a space, you can go from your kitchen table to setting up something in your bedroom. Even if you had like a little TV stand or something like that, just anywhere that you can put your laptop, have your books, your pen and paper, any part of your house. Now, I would suggest that it's not a place that, you know, there's a lot of traffic. If you have many people in your home, whether you have your parents living with you and, you know, your siblings or your children or your man, it should be an area that is not, does not have a lot of traffic. So that would be a basement. It could be your closet. It could be a corner in your bedroom because you're not sharing your bedroom with anyone else outside of maybe your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. But it's literally just finding a space that is quiet, that a lot of people aren't going in and out of, you know, taking your focus off of your work, distracting you with their noise and their questions and all of that. If you could find a place within your home that does have a door, that would be great so that you can drown out the noise if you have, you know, your big teenagers there and different things like that. But I believe that anything can be turned into an office, even your car, because I've done work in my car. I have escaped to the driveway to write, to think, to process, to record videos, your garage. I mean, literally any place can go. You with creativity and I don't know, you're just taking the pressure off of it needing to be like this perfect thing. I have to have this, you know, this cubicle-like setup or this office-like setup. People travel all around the world and they do work on the freaking beach. You can find somewhere in the place that you call home to set up shop, I believe.
So how do you mix in with having kids at home? So now, and some of the kids, say like school age kids, right? So now they've turned into a whole online session. And I hear a lot of parents complaining about because some of that workload is being pushed back onto the parents. So, you know, maybe you don't know, but is there a way or any tips that you can help with for parents that are trying to help kids with their kids with homework and online school now while they're at home trying to do their work as well?
I would go back to the first answer that I had given when it's all about a schedule. I believe that the children in your home need to have a schedule. They need to have, and it's not like you're on vacation. Like this is not summer school. You're still trying to incorporate the same practices, the same habits that they just had. Like just because you're at home, we're not giving anybody a pass to just chill out. We're not starting until 8 p.m. at night. Like, no, let's keep up the same habit. So I believe for anybody that is working as well as having children inside of your home, have them wake up. you're doing the same routine. They're getting up, they're waking up in the morning, they're having breakfast. After breakfast, they're getting dressed, making up their bed, brushing their teeth, the regular. And then you have them at an established place in your house. So that could be in your kitchen or your dining room or wherever you have them, maybe even in their bedroom, depending, some children can't even be in the room by themselves. Like, you got to be up underneath mom, but have them on a schedule. All right, from 8 to 8:30, we're doing lesson 1. At 8:30, I'm gonna come downstairs and I'm gonna come check on you and I'm gonna see what work you did. All right. Mm-hmm. And then from maybe 8:30 to 8:30 to 8:45, I'm gonna give you a 15-minute break. Go ahead. You can play your video games or you can do whatever. Like, it's up to you, whatever you want them to do at that time. Go read a book, go take a walk outside or whatever. All right, back at 9 o'clock, we're doing this lesson. Like, I believe in schedules so very much. I believe that if you have learning hours and break hours and snack hours and not hours for snack, Lord, because the kids will eat you out of house and home. But it's all about a schedule and having balance. And depending on where your child is, because I have, what were you saying?
Oh, no, go ahead.
But depending on how old your child is, because I'm a homeschool mom. So I've been homeschooling since 2017. So I have been working and having my children. My boys can sit right next to me while doing their work and I'm on my laptop. It's cool. I also have a 2-year-old who has toys. And for me, I can work and still hear noise. I can work and still hear them doing stuff or them talking and the baby playing things. And I'm pretty good with my focus, but I know not everybody can. But if you can, like,
superpower.
It is. It's a mom super. It really is. Like, people are like, how do you not lose your mind? I'm like, I really don't know. But I also have my time where I'm just in my office, during the nap time, or certain times I have the boys in the dining room working at the table. And then I'm in my office working. And they all know, like, just like you guys have to work and learn, mommy has to work, learn, produce as well. So I think that if you and your child both just have schedules, and I do have free schedules on my website for parents, they can go to lovingmefreely.com/family resources. I have an entire schedule. You just got to plop in. Math is going to be during the lesson 1 time. Break. I have a schedule from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for you and your family to follow. So schedule would be the biggest thing, just knowing where it is that they need to be, what should they be doing at that time, and what you're going to be doing at that time. And of course, checking in on them, because I know not all students have the ability to focus. They don't have a lot of self-discipline, some kids, so they kind of need somebody that's going to stay on them. And you being their parent, you just check in on them every 15 minutes. You get up from the room you're in, go in there, just make sure that they're doing stuff, ask them questions to make sure that they're doing it, and you get back to it. But schedules for them as well as schedules for you will make everything so much easier.
What about for the parents who their kids are asking, and this can go like whether they're this now new homeschooling or not, but sometimes kids bring homework home. Is there any resources you can provide or links or websites that you can think of that could help parents if it's math, other than, I guess, Google? But
I would, to be honest, now there's a whole bunch of, like, are you looking for worksheets or are you looking for someone that can actually teach your children?
Not but just as a resource. Like, if a lot of times it is like math. So there's a new school way of learning like certain math facts and different things like that. And just was wondering if there was a resource out there that people could quickly go on to find that answer.
Now, I do know, and it depends on the age, but like there's free math classes online called Khan Academy, KHAN Academy. And that is, there's basically a guy on there who teaches, who will teach your kids for you. Also on YouTube, there is a man that teaches, I want to say his name or his channel is Math Antics. Math Antics, and he is a teacher who teaches online. And don't sleep on YouTube. If you type in 5th grade math, if you type in trigonometry, if you type in I don't know, advanced placement algebra. There are teachers on there that are teaching everything. They have their big dry erase boards, their big chalkboards, and they are literally breaking down the steps. There are so many teachers who have the advanced level math and professors that are right there on YouTube, that are right there on Google. Now, because my children are not at that age, my kids that I'm homeschooling are 8 and 9. I haven't had to go, that far up, like with the calculus and all of that. But I'm also really great in math, and their dad is really great in math. So that kind of like helps. But when I say YouTube and Google, if you simply just type in, free math classes or free this and this for subjects, there are endless videos. There are so many teachers that have been, not even just now, but have been teaching. A matter of fact, my kids right now are learning about investing and investing their money. So we learned about stocks 2 weeks ago and interest, and we're talking about entrepreneurship, like all these things. So I did my best today to explain what the principal balance was and what the interest was. So I did it in my own little language, and I was like, you know what, forget this. I went and grabbed the phone. I have a bigger iPhone that's bigger than this one. It's an older one that I put up on the kitchen table, and I just typed this in. And when I typed in this explanation, like explanation of interest and principal balance for kids, and this guy came up, and he was from Khan Academy, and I haven't watched Khan Academy's videos for maybe a few months now. So I was surprised that they had something on that, but it broke it down so well for my son. Like my son was like, all right, so if if they let me borrow and he was coming back, and he's 9 years old. Like, come on, Khan Academy, thank you. Because we do our best, but sometimes there are, people who are professional and extremely articulate and know how to teach children. They got it online. So I would definitely say like Khan Academy and Math Antics were some, but of course my kids are only 8 and 9. But just go to Google, go to YouTube, type in the exact math class, and I promise you'll find some resources on there. There's so many teachers that just teach online for free.
So one of the things that I was kind of panicking about was, so when we first got the first call from the school saying, for my older kids, I have a middle schooler and a high schooler, and they said, oh, we're going to, stop school for now until I think the first date was like April 16th is when my kids were supposed to go back to school. Okay, not a problem. We make it through there. And so then the second call comes. And then that second call is like, well, we're not going back to school until May 1st. And in my mind, as I'm playing this out, I feel like kids are probably not going back to school at all this year. They're just kind of putting this out there. And if they do that, I mean, May 1st, that's a month left of school at that point. But I have a 4-year-old. Yeah. And so my 4-year-old would normally be going to preschool right now. Yeah. And so I go to work. He goes to preschool. He learns ABCs, once he knows all of these things. And it hit me when I got the call that said extended to May 1st. I started having this panic, like, oh my God. Like, what am I going to do? He's not in preschool. Like, how? So now I have to deal with him, but I'm not prepared. Yeah. It's not saying that I can't, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't have workbooks, flashcards, like all of the stuff that I thought that was needed to now get him through so that when kindergarten starts, that he would be ready to enroll. So the first person that I called was Maria. Well, I actually texted her and I'm like, I need your help. And she's probably like, okay, what help with what? But she openly was like, okay, what can I help you with? And I just started panicking. And so there may be some other parents out there that are worried about their 4-year-old who's getting ready to go into, well, she'll be 5, or their 5-year-old that's getting ready to roll into kindergarten. And can you just talk and share maybe some of the tips and information that you gave to me around that as well?
I sure will. So First off, I told Andrea that her son is probably just fine because most kids are, like, believe it or not, especially with if he was in preschool, most parents are fine. Preschools do a great job at preparing kids for kindergarten. I believe from the ones that I've experienced, they just do a great job. And to be honest, I told her that really it's just on the requirements for you guys. Because we think like, oh my goodness, this is what's required and that's what's required. And we just think all these things of where people should be at these ages, but really your state, and if you're in Ohio, like the state of Ohio, just simply go to the requirements for education at your child's age. And this is for any grade level. So if your kid is going into 6th grade next year, or they're going to be in high school next year or kindergarten next year, just see what your state's requirements are. You pull up the educational requirements like, oh, he has to know how to count from 1 to 20. You're like, I count to 100. Oh my goodness. Check. All right, the next one. He has to know his age. Check. He has to check. Like when you know the requirements of what they're expecting your child to know before going into that next level, it's so much easier for you to assess them. Now, let's just say you find something on the list and you're like, I can't check that off. That's when you go find the resources so that you can check it off. You go there, we'll say for kindergarten, maybe they have to know shapes before kindergarten. I don't know the requirements off the top of my head, but let's just say they need to know what their shapes were. Whether you go to a local store because plenty of stores from Mark's to Ollie's, Walmart, Target, the Dollar Tree, the dollar store, they all have grade books for children that you can teach out of. You can also order these books online and they're really cheap. They're all less than $10, like so inexpensive. But you go find the material from a book or a website and you're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get Marlia's little schedule planner. And for the next 5 days, we're going to be doing for lesson 1 every single morning. We're going to review our shapes because my baby needs to know his shapes before going to kindergarten. So every single morning at 8:30, when you start your first lesson, you're going over the circles, you're going over the triangles, you're going over the squares, you're going over the rhombus and the diamond or whatever the things are that he needs to know. Do it every single day. Test them on it, quiz them on it. Over time, he's going to know it. And then you move on to the next. That's simply all I could say is just know what the requirements are, what your state is saying is acceptable for that age. Go through that list, ask your child, and if they're a little bit, on the fence about some things, those are the ones that you want to write down on, on a notebook or write it down on a Word document saying, now these are the materials that I need to find and these are the things that I need to start teaching him now. And then you just go to your schedule. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to be working on multiplication. We're going to be working on spelling Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to be working on his understanding of the body parts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like whatever it is, then you plot it out and you teach it.
Yeah. So I immediately went to my school district and kind of pulled down all of the information that they had. And he
told you
the numbers, write his name. He was like all good with that. But he has been in a pattern of doing, learning curriculum every day. Yes. And so I wanted to keep that pattern up and not break that and come up with some sort of routine. So I immediately just went on to Amazon and I just started ordering like workbooks. Their school reading assignments. They have to read 2 books. Okay. So I ordered those books off of Amazon. Yeah. Even a coloring book. The coloring book has like numbers and letters. Maybe that letter that we're working on the day, and then he'll have a coloring. So when I'm sitting at my desk doing my work during the day, I set him up with the little desk and chair that sits right next to me. That's how I found while I'm doing my work, you do your work, right? So he sits right next to me all day, every day. And then we take a break. So I might have been on the phone or on the computer like a couple hours doing. And then right now we're just going outside and take a walk around the block or let him ride his bike. Mm-hmm. It's hard right now because we're seeing neighbor kids and they're kind of like, no, like nobody wants to play. They can't play with each other. And there's the parks there. You can go to the park for a walk, but there's no sliding board. Yeah. So we're just working through all of that. And I just have, again, ordered games and toys or whatever from Amazon. And so I become his like best friend at this point. It's hard. It's not what I'm used to on a daily, but hey, I guess it could be worse.
Come on now.
And I say worse. It's not bad at all, you know, to be able to spend the time with him. But it's just, I am a worker. Like that's just kind of what I do.
I know. Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm like, to be honest, if I wasn't homeschooling, I could get so much work done. Like I could lock myself in my office for 8 hours and not need a thing. Cause you know, especially when you love what you do, you know, it's just like, let's go. Who we got to call? Like, it's fun, you know? So I get that.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything that you would share with everyone before we go that maybe I didn't ask a question on that you feel would be important or useful?
Yeah, so there's a few things. During this time, I think that every adult should have a goal or several goals in mind of what you want to actually cultivate in your homeschool environment. Like, you know, this is your opportunity for you to do something for your child that your school could not have done for your child. This is an opportunity for you to maybe teach things that your school wouldn't be teaching them. Like for you right now, you could possibly, Andrea, be sharing a little bit of the real estate world with your teenagers or your middle school kids, and maybe even your little baby, something that you never even thought that they should even know or think to know. But it's just like, you know what, for 30 minutes, you gonna look over this with mommy. You know, like one of my kids, we're doing graphic design right now too, entrepreneurship, but I want them to know skills. But it's like, I had to create some stuff for somebody. So my son helped me to create it, you know, and that's just what we're doing. So one is just your goals. What are some things that you know that they were not getting? And just see the blessing in the fact that you can pour that into them right now. And add some of those things, whatever it is, if they've been having some disciplinary issues or whatever, like this is the time for you to correct that before sending them back out. And another thing I would say is release all the pressure. Okay. This is a time where grace is more than sufficient. And it's okay if you have a bad day. It's okay if you guys have a few bad days. It's okay if you have a bad weekend, y'all yelling and screaming. You get another day to try it all over again. Do not beat up yourself. Do not beat up your children. Everybody just needs to have grace at this time as we're working through all of this stuff, and get creative and have fun. Because y'all can have fun. It's your family, you know? So kick it at home and find just fun ways to just learn and experiment and grow and all of those great things. So those are a few things I would say.
Okay. So tomorrow I am bringing on CG Newman. She's an agent at Brick House Realty. We will be on tomorrow at 1 p.m. and she's going to be talking about her first day or her first 30 days as being a real estate agent.
Wow.
I talked to a lot of people that are interested in getting their license, on the fence, but not quite sure, or really think watch HGTV and see real estate agents as being the glorious side of the business, but not seeing what really happens on the back end.
Yes.
So please join us here tomorrow, 1. And then Marlia, how do they follow you or get in contact with you?
They can get in contact with me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm Marlia, Marlia, Bryon, Bryonne, and my last name is Hall, Hall. So Marlia Bryon Hall on both Instagram and Facebook. And lastly, I do have a 15-minute teaching for free, as well as 21 online resources and a schedule for all parents to use at, again, lovingmefreely.com/family resources. And I'm sending 1 lesson a day by email. So if you just submit your email there, you'll get 1 lesson of something that you can teach your child. The rest.
Oh, that is so awesome. I'm signing up.